today we've got this baxi, which is on a 3-port. As you can tell, it's got a 3-way valve here with a pump. There's constantly air in the system. 4 engineers have been around and they've changed the pump, they've changed a few things, but the issue is quite simple. So we'll go through what is causing the issue. See all that splattering? I want that to stop. So that's still going. Still got like splattering in it. Filling this up. One of the engineers who came around fitted a new pump, but they fitted the pump facing that way. Now the pump usually has to face towards the valve because this is where the valve splits off into different areas. So as you can tell, it will either go to B, which is, I remember that as bath. So this will go to the cylinder. If the valve opens, it will let water through here to heat up the cylinder. If the valve opens and goes down that way, it opens up to the central heating. The pump facing that way doesn't make any sense. So another engineer came along, turned it around, and there was just more airlocks and they couldn't figure it out. Someone else came to change a radiator. There's more airlocks and they couldn't figure it out. AAV here, this radiator here, we're going to take this off and put in an Aladdin, which is an automatic bleed valve. So you won't actually have to bleed it manually, it will do it itself. So we can see tee off. It tees off and it goes that way. That is this pipe here, just round the back, this pipe. That goes round. And that is up to a vent, which goes into the feed and expansion tank. So what's going to happen with this pump is it's going to suck in air from here, from that expansion. So there's nothing stopping that from happening because they haven't fitted a air separator. It's not a lot of space, so we're going to have to figure that out. How are we going to do this? Where do we do it? But that's the vent pipe. As you can tell, it just goes in there, and all it does is if anything overheats, it dumps water back into this tank. Now there should be an isolation valve here, but of course there's not. I'm just gonna make it very easy. Wrap that around a few times, then back again, so that lifts that up. That means this won't fill up. See? So I have to push that down to make it fill up, but it's been pulled up now, so that's fine. So we can drain down. Now to get things really going, we're going to open this up. This is going to bring air in and the air will displace the water. It says number 13 is the return and number 12 is the flow connection. Look over here, we can then tell that that's the return and that's the flow. What it's saying is this is the return, so we can see that this is where it's coming back to the boiler. This is the flow, which is saying that it's leaving the boiler, it's flowing to the radiators. So the pipe we're looking for is the flow. We're flowing to this, so that means this pipe here needs to flow into this top section here. Then it connects back down here. The top just connects to the top there, which goes to the vent. So the top goes to the vent. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's all in here. When you purchase one of these, it comes with the instructions as well. The state of that. God, so I mean, I'm not even going to bother trying to cut it anywhere here. I thought about it, and I mean, just look at that. So the only viable option is here. Elbow out to here. I did cut it underneath there and up here. So we'll just remove that piece. I'm going to use Yorkshires because it's a bit of a tight spot and I don't want to do what that guy did. It's all in. As we can see, that's what that looks like. And then it joins back up down there. That joins back down there. That bit then connects here to the pump. The vent goes up, connecting to the previous pipe. Then it connects to the boiler here. And that's it. I can't seem to get that on there, which isn't great. There's quite a lot of solder everywhere, so I'm just going to try and cut it underneath that. There we go, so that's nice and clean. Now the trick to that is you don't put pressure, you just let the saw do the work, keeping your hands straight. We're not sort of trying to push on there, we're just letting it do its work. And then as you increase and you take longer strokes, it just happens. Long strokes. Just going to put some jointing compound on the top of the olive where it joins up, making sure it doesn't go in the pipe there. And that's it. With the compound on, we can now put it on just like that. Tighten this up. All we have to do now is open this up. It's in the closed position. We're just going to do one full turn. So just like that. That's open. And now all the air will come out as we fill up automatically. Just about to do this magnet cleanse flush. Oh, picking out this towel pump, which I don't think was powerful enough. And I'm trying out this, which is a Archer gas. Now City Plumbing are selling these, so let's have a look inside. Just about to turn on this pump. We'll see how it goes. I had to change the fuse on this because it was 13 amp for the boiler. So that's all back on. I mean, this is looking a bit ridiculous. I don't want to open that. Turn on the heating. And hopefully this runs. There we go. Installing these Aladdin auto vents. These come in a pack of 2, however you can get single. So instead of manually bleeding your radiators, these will bleed them automatically. These are perfect for situations where you may have a lot of airlocks in your system. This bleeds it very quickly. If you're an installer of central heating, radiators, stuff like that, you don't have to run back and forth bleeding. You just top up the boiler and these will bleed them for you. You do get different versions of these. So you'll get thinner ones that will go onto old radiators. And yeah, you can just give it a go. In this instance, I'm going to install them on all the towel radiators, because the towel radiators are normally the highest radiator in the house. So what you'd need to do is switch these off. Just like that. So that's off. You switch that one off. Make sure those are actually off and working. Is we're going to open this. No water's coming out. That means those valves are working. We can take this off just by twisting it like so. There we go, that's all the way out. Now you don't want to scratch the chrome, but I am just going to clean this bit out, just inside, with a wire brush. This is to hopefully prevent any leaks and issues. I'm just going to help clean off these bits here. Seems like it's a bit of rusting perhaps. going to get a cloth on there as well. We'll grab these Aladdin auto vents, which are pretty much identical to these. And I'm just going to screw that on now. Just the same as the old one came off. Now, you probably don't want to use, you'll probably want to use something like this, that's flat, an adjustable spanner. And we're not going very tight, we're just nipping it up. So it's starting to grip now. And there we go, that's it. So now we're just going to give it a little bit of a nip up. There we go. So they don't need any PTFE, they don't need any paste. The O-ring, the rubber O-ring on it does everything. Now undo this. And that screws in the same way. We start off by hand. Just making sure to keep it level and not threading. There we go, so that's it. I'm going to take these off now. We're going to put some inhibitor in, just to protect the system. Now it's topping up. Let's have a listen. Bit of water came out there, but then it automatically shut off. We can hear some coming out. We're going to open it up just slightly more. And on this one, we've got a little bubble come through, haven't we? So before it shuts off, it just lets a bit of water out, which is great, and then it automatically shuts off. So there we go, switched off now. So what we do is we manage this with the pump speed to get it just right. But as you can tell, it's climbing, and it's climbing very quickly now, whereas the return isn't climbing. The delta T 15 is ideal in this situation. We don't want that to be too much of a difference between the two. It's 10 PM. Customer got me fish and chips, so that's lovely. It's been a long day. Gonna drain down because another leak popped up. So I was just about to pack up and looked around. One of the rad valves was leaking. So yeah, all the valves are leaking now, all the radiator valves. So after filling up, I'm draining down again.